It's the most wonderful time of the year. Yeah, the kids will be heading back to school in a couple of weeks, but while parents look forward to a return of routine, they also dread that hit that they're going to take in their pocketbooks because back to school shopping is going to take a lot of the money out of there.
The National Retail Federation recently published spending research that claims combined kindergarten to grade 12 and post-secondary spending will reach well over $50 billion in North America, making back to school shopping the second biggest consumer spending event for retailers behind the winter holidays. But why do parents dole out wads of cash to get the latest back-to-school gadgets and fashions, often overspending on things the kids really don't need?
I wish I knew the answer to that question. Joining us to help is Lorraine Sommerfeld. She's a columnist for the Toronto Star and Hamilton Spectator. And at our Queen's Park Bureau, we have Debbie Fry, General Manager at Flyerland.ca. Debbie, are parents their own worst enemies here when it comes to back-to-school shopping? Because most of them, they drag their kids to a mall. They don't really plan what they're going to do. And a lot of times the kids just pick stuff out and the parents hope for the best.
Well, now about 30% of parents plan to go online and shop before they go shopping, so it looks like it's moving in the right direction, but you're right. If you go and take your kids to the mall, you're setting yourself up for definitely going over your budget.
Lorraine, you have two boys, I have two boys, and I have tried to put them in a dress for years. They just won't come along for the ride, but they're just as interested in clothing as girls, aren't they?
I think I have less problem than my friends that have girls, actually. And just having been a girl, I remember the same thing. I'd tell parents, first thing you should do, dump out their dressers now. See what still fits and see what doesn't. Boys are notorious for saying they're fine, they're fine. They put their jeans on and they're 4 inches too short. So find out what fits, get rid of what doesn't. And that's a nice hand-me-down pile for some other kid, which is, for the same time of year.
Hand-me-downs are great, aren't they?
They're awesome. I just live for it. But it also, if you do it now, then some other kid going back to school can have a whole bunch of new to them clothes, which is good. But now putting a budget on is good. I'd rather buy better quality stuff and have less of it. And the other thing, especially with girls, don't buy them everything before they go, because the first day of school they'll find out that they shouldn't have bought a whole bunch of the stuff, and they'll come home and never wear it again and never tell you why.
Debbie, I'm sure you've got plenty of tips that you can offer to parents who just hate the back-to-school shopping. And you had touched upon online. Is it a good idea, now, here a couple weeks before school, to go online, look at some items with your kids, have them sort of go, I need a new pair of pants, that and that type of thing. And then at least that way you've got an idea what the prices are. You can either purchase them online, or when you go to the mall or go to the store, you've got a bit of an outline as to what's needed and how much it costs.
Well, I think it's a three-step process. I agree with Lorraine. You need to organize, find out what you need. Like I know at our house we don't need mechanical pencils. And make that list. Do trade with people, but certainly make your list. Have the kids put them to work. They're already online. Make sure that they're working on your behalf. So you're making this list. You're setting up priorities. The second step is to prioritize. And you want to say, what do I really need right now? What can I put off? And then is when you put the action into work to save your budget. Go online and do all the research before you go shopping. Have your kids do it. With that list, go shop and compare. It's never been easier. And even with everyday shopping, 15 minutes can save you $50, so you'll save so much more for the back-to-school season.
I'm so lucky because my kids wear uniforms. I mean, I know what they have to. It's great, and I don't know why more schools don't adopt uniforms. I think in the long run you do save money. But do you think you should give your kids the cash and let them make their own choices?
Oh, absolutely not. Oh, no, I don't.
Wait, the kids are at home going, yeah, give us the cash.
You know what? Both of you guys said that you have young boys. Well, I have kids that are in college, right? So I've always given them a budget instead of paying for what they're receiving, having them say, I want this and this and this. It's taught them to use money smartly, even before it became so easy to plan in advance. And they're living examples of being on budget, spending my money wisely, but also, as they grow up, spending their own money wisely.
That is a good idea. So look, you've got X amount of dollars for the summer, or for the fall, including your running shoes, which can take up a big chunk of that money, and you have to figure it out. You're not getting any more.
One thing, sorry. No, with the online shopping, shopping, which is awesome. The one thing I do recommend you do, though, is if you're going to go to American Eagle or the Gap or whatever, go to a store to figure out the sizing, and then when you're ordering online, you know that store, that size will fit the kid, and it saves sending stuff back, which is such a hassle.
Wait a minute, Lorraine, you're talking about going to a store and not buying anything, just trying things on for size?
Well, a lot of times if you buy a pair of jeans and the kid loves them, you go online and it's like a big outlet shopping thing.
Really?
You have access to everything that's marked down, and I do this a lot with a couple of the stores I mentioned, because you can get that style, those sizes, but you're picking from North American lots instead of your mall that might run out of the sizes, but just make sure they fit.
Debbie, do kids have to have a new backpack every year? Do they have to have a new set of pencil crayons every year? Do they have? I find in the last 5 years, it's just been a repeat of the same stuff. And then, of course, later I find the old pencil crayons from the year before, and they're perfectly good, as is the case, as is the backpack.
I think it's really important for kids to have some new items fresh to start the school year, because we want them to be engaged in it, excited to go back. You can do a lot of things. You can do a little trade, have a get-together at your house and have the kids bring things and trade amongst themselves, and it's new to them. But there are super great deals, and I do shop online quite a bit, but don't forget the flyers in paper and the flyers online. You can go directly to the mall. You'll see certain specials. Right now you can get half-price backpacks almost everywhere. Last weekend on Saturday and Sunday only at the Bay you could get 50% off, but that same special was not active on Monday. So it's all about being prepared, doing some research, and then getting great name brands that you get instantly at home. And you can take home that day, but you're still getting fantastic deals.
Okay, Lorraine, for people like me who don't do online shopping, how difficult is it to get it delivered and to send it back and all of that kind of thing? And do you pay additional for the delivery?
Every store has their own policy. I do a lot of books and stuff like that. I do that online. Clothing for boys is easier than clothing for girls, because the boys frankly don't care about much of it. If you return, a lot of them will say they'll pay to return it. It just depends. It's bigger in the States than here, but it's growing quickly because a lot of people just don't want the experience of going to those malls and fighting with the people that are in line.
Yeah. It can be very scary going to a mall. Certainly a lot more scary than sitting in front of your own computer and shopping.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks a lot. Debbie Fry in Toronto and Lorraine Sommerfeld here. Thanks for the tips on back-to-school shopping.
Thanks.
Okay.